Fall down already. Wow. So, g'day guys. Just got a bit of downtime going on and might try something a little bit different for now. Since I know most of you guys here interested in Mad Max as much as I am, I hope. Just thought, I've been meaning to play this game for a while now. I mean, I keep telling myself I'm going to get around to it. I've seen it, had a bit of a muck around here and there. I've played it once or twice, but never really sat down to actually play this thing. Never sat down. So I think, well, like I said, I got a bit of downtime. Might just have a look. I've always been interested in seeing how this game plays out. I've heard it's not really canon. It's not very linear in that respect. Like, it's not in any specific timeline. But I have heard, this was made by Warner Brothers, more or less. Avalanche Studios produced it, but Warner Brothers more or less had a license to make this one. And they kind of took stories that George Miller wrote for, different sequels, different segments of Mad Max of the storyline that he was going to plan on doing. And took some liberties with some of its stories as well. So it's not exactly what he wrote. From what I've heard, it's a bit of a mixed thing. So I'm just curious to see how this plays out. So whether or not, it's worth it. And like I said, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this, like a Let's Play. So bear in mind, I'm just going to have some fun with it. I'm going to try and make as informative as possible if I can, at least with the cars. Try and see, what cars I can spot, because, you got Max's XB in this one, so that's pretty good. But I think, there's one or two other Australian cars there. You got some American muscle. Got some different things going on. So I'm just curious to see how this plays out. So I'm just going to have a quick go of it. Play it over a few episodes. How long it takes, I don't know how long. So this is the first time I'm doing it, like I said. But I figured, why not? Just in between while I'm doing other things. Might as well get some games going on. Especially this one here, because this one, like I said, everybody knows me, I'm a Mad Max fan, and most of the people on my channel, Mad Max fans as well, so hopefully this is something you might enjoy. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's have a look. Off the bat, War Boys and Witness. So already you got a connection with Fury Road right there. Old Max. Black Pursuit Special. I don't know if he handbraked it then or not. I hope he didn't, because the XB doesn't handbrake that way. The handbrake is under the console for the XB, not next to the... What's the name? The handbrake is under the dashboard, not next to the console. So I don't know what he did then. He must change gears. Yeah.
His was a never-ending journey away from the phantoms of his past.
Haunted by the demons of his past. Good old Rossiter boots. Okay, there's a bit of a throwback to Beyond Thunderdome, where in Thunderdome his right boot was still Rossiter, just like in all the other films. But come Beyond Thunderdome, his left boot had been replaced by a cowboy. So it wasn't the same as his original Rossiter boots he had with his uniform. Yeah, get back to it, Max. With Fury Road, I found it funny because it felt like the XB was just so out of place there. The interceptor, actually the Pursuit Special, but oh shit, yeah. It's that whole Monaro. I think that's the front part of the whole Monaro. Any car I get wrong, I'll try and post up what it actually is.
Listen, my apostles of Arthur. You've hunted well.
Hey. The double barrel.
Here's the fox who thought he'd plunder from Scabra Scrotus.
Oh. Oh. Pistol whipping. Move out. Oh, stripped him down. On, you can get it. On he goes. Can't get it off, mate. Yeah, this game makes Max a bit more physical than he actually was in the movies, so... Like, Beyond Thunderdome, they try to do a bit more with that. Hey, another blue healer. Worthless cur. Ah. Poor dog. Blue healers, I love those dogs. I had 2 growing up. Back when I was about 5, we had Jess. And a little bit older, we had Spike. And... Wow. There you go. Cripes. So you're going back. Blue healers, mate. They're just the best dogs. I love those dogs. I love those 2 dogs. A bit of a history there that, yeah, they didn't end well. So I'm not going to get too much detail on that. But, yeah, some bad history there. Nothing directly, just some circumstances that led to, yeah, them going before their time. Yeah, I heard that originally Max, like on the first trailer, the first presentation of the game, he had American accent. And fans, rightly so, were upset about that. And they said, you know, geez, give him back his Aussie accent. Which is rightly so. The character's Aussie. Like, okay, his boots are back. I don't know if I mentioned before, but yeah, it's the one consistent. Max's costume has never really been consistent throughout all 4 films. I mean, even between like 1 and 2, they're a bit different. In between 2 and 3, they're a bit different. But they're never the same in every game. And the only one thing that's remained consistent throughout the whole franchise, from what I know, is his right Rossiter boot. You know, that's the one thing there. And I got a pair of those. I love those boots. They replaced my Johnny Rebs, where another story, long story. One of them got thrown away by accident. I had a nice pair of brand new Johnny Rebs, and one of them got thrown away after being moved about. But that's, yeah, it's another story together. But I was able to pick up a replacement pair of Rossiters, second hand, because they don't make them anymore. And although they're not the exact match what Mel Gibson was wearing, like the character of Max was wearing in the first film and the others, they're pretty close, and they do the part. Like, it's good for cosplay if that's one thing I ever want to do. Just, I wouldn't mind cosplay, but I never had the body to do anything like that. Never had the look to Max. But if I ever do want to cosplay, which I do one day, I'd love to do like the cover, the American cover of that character of Max, where he's kind of like a mix between Max and Goose, where he's got like the helmet, he's got the glasses on, and it's just a bit more odd. And I always felt on screen on the cover, like his shotgun didn't look try to make it look futuristic. It's probably the way the color scheme was selected, but it looked like it was red with white barrels, so you can do that in a way to get away with walking around with double barrel next to you holstered.
Gotta find it.
Okay, okay, that's empty. Interesting setup for this game. Interesting setup for the world. So it's open world, which is, I reckon they're probably some of the best games are open world. Like, I'm not sure which one more or less. I mean, obviously, you got Grand Theft Auto started all, but I think a lot of the dynamics kind of came along or changed about, especially with the fighting dynamics with the Batman Arkham series. The first game, I think, Arkham Asylum. Whoa, what was that? Can I run? What can I do? Just... Oh, here we go. Bit of action going.
This man, are you quiet, gently?
Hey!
It ain't for eating.
You ain't my dog, mate.
It's you.
Chumbucket.
Looks
Looks like a throwback to Elfialities from 300.
Please, don't kill Chumbucket. Please. Hey.
Why shouldn't I?
Well, shouldn't I?
That can take you to your car. I do say.
Have a vehicle, eh?
That's right. She's not running now. Sorry for that. I came here for the part. You see, I'm a black finger.
Black finger.
Work again. And Dinky D too.
Dinky D. See, that's one thing that's annoyed me. Dinky Die is what it actually should be. That's a throwback to Mad Max 2, where you see him eating, chumming down that dog food. And the good thing is, it pops up here in the game, even with the same graphics. So again, that's a good connection to it. And they've named the dog after that. They call it Dinky Die. the thing about it, even here, the guys doing the voice, and even people subsequently since have been referring to Dinky D, where that's not how it's pronounced, where it is Dinky Die. And Dinky Die in Australia is supposed to mean fair dinkum, like the real deal. So it's kind of like an in-joke about what Max was eating, or what Mel Gibson was eating. So they're kind of like that joke, like he's really eating dog food, but who knows? It's just a mix. But I'll tell you what, the way he eats it and savors it, even as a kid I thought to myself, oh geez, that looks delicious. Wouldn't mind getting me some of that.
Dog's bleeding out.
Oh, I can fix it, but I do my best work in my sanctum.
Push the car.
I need wire to fix my buggy, but then I can show you where they took the black on black.
Black on black. I always like how the car is always throughout,
Up that path.
especially George Miller. George Miller rarely calls it Interceptor, and almost no one calls it Pursuit Special. Like, officially, I'm going to go stand by that. Officially, the car is supposed to be a Pursuit Special. So, people have been calling it Interceptor, but the thing about that, it only got called Interceptor once by one character, that mechanic from Mad Max 2, Sprints number 2. Okay, that's good to know. However, and since then it's kind of adopted that name, the Interceptor. But from the original film, if you watch the first film, especially after Max steals it, now there's a scene when he comes about Johnny the boy who's playing possum. You can hear on the radio. Oh, got a new gun. That's a single barrel. Okay. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, you can hear on the police radio, like there's a, what's the name, Code 3 Red Alert, very similar to what the Knight Rider had at the beginning when they're chasing him down. And Max is now that Code 3 Red Alert, and it's mentioned, if you listen carefully, it can say a Black Pursuit Special has been stolen. Potential Code 3 Red Alert, Black Pursuit Special has been told unauthorized use by a main force officer. So Max is basically like a criminal at that stage, and he's stolen what... Oh, bit of beaten. He's stolen, and they mention it's a Pursuit Special. So, luckily, over time, people are starting to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, it is a Pursuit Special. Now, they've kind of come up with their own Pursuit Special Interceptor because, again, the Knight Rider Holden Monaro that he stole was also a Pursuit Special, and because Max is a bit more modified, people are trying to give up the excuse to say, or not, people are trying to give it like it's a Pursuit Special Interceptor. It's kind of like to make them both canon. Both terminologies like Interceptor, Pursuit Special. Yeah, here we're going back to that Arkham Asylum style fighting. It's interesting because you never really saw Max throw much of any kind of punches. I can't remember if I've ever seen him throw a punch. I mean, okay, fair enough. He threw... Let me think about that. Apart from the fight he had with... what's his face? Blaster from, There we go. Blaster from Beyond Thunderdome. You rarely saw Max even throw a punch. The only punch I can remember off the top of my head him seeing him throw was against Savannah when she was trying to get away. So, yeah. Okay, so we're scavenging around about here and there. Ooh, geez, that spear doesn't look too good in you, mate. Can I get it? No. So what do you got here? You got some generic, more or less generic pickups. Oh, a coupe. It looks more like a Holden. I wonder if it's a Monaro. Probably. What's going on here? No, just stack of garbage. The sounding is great. I just love it. Locator for info. What have we got here? Okay, more scraps. Looted. What else am I looking for? Do I have... Find Chum's wire. Okay, let's go back and find it. What have we got here? Just another generic... Okay. So at least it's on the right side. So they kept the steering wheel on the correct side to be matched with Australia, which is good.
Wire. Should be enough.
Got a bit of fire going. Alright, let's go back to them and see what we can do. They didn't really play on the Australian theme in Fury Road. I mean, Tom Hardy had a bit of a weird accent going on, like they didn't make it specific. You know, and Tom Hardy himself isn't Australian, so...
Wait.
You're not ready? Yeah, you, mate. Tell me you're not ready, mate. I'm Mad Max. I've been wondering this thing bloody how long now? Yeah, I mean, I really wish... you know, Mad Max is Australian, 100%. There's no question about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with they throw in a couple of, you know, American characters. Like, I really love Tina Turner's character. I mean, she's great. Like, and because, you know, we're more multicultural in the world, more people get around, that's fine. Like, even if you're Ursa, there's no issue with that. But making sure Max remains Australian, for me, is very important. It, you know, it's just the way it is. Certain characters got to stay who they are and as they are.
Praise be! Praise be!
Speaking of who they are as they are, we kind of skipped an intro on this. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to go straight in the intro, but maybe because I loaded it before I started. In a quick flashback, you saw Max had a family, just like, you know, a wife and child, but in this game here, they made his child into a daughter.
This way!
Not sure why they do something like that. I don't know if the producers even saw the first film. They just probably thought he had a wife and child, just randomly put whatever, but yeah, no, it's interesting because Max, you know, he had a son, you know, Sprog.
Easy, dog.
Which I'm not mistaken, like, I never use the word that often, you know, you got named Sproggo. It's basically, he's named his son after sperm, so I don't know what's the go with that. I mean, you know, Jesus, what he made one. Okay, little buggy. It looks like a bit of a custom, so I don't think it's based on anything specifically, but I'll look it up, see if it has any specific make or model, this one.
The sooner I get my car back, the sooner I'll be on my way.
Amen! Huh? Here we arrive in time to save your black on black.
Okay. Black on black. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna keep an ear out and see if they call it interceptor. But even in the novelization, and in George Miller's description of it, he called it a black on black. So
Yes, from that looky look point, we may be able to spot your car.
okay, look, it's not even it's not only a
You
two-tone.
can see the camp from up there.
It's basically a three-tone. Not really, because the interior is partly white in the first film. It's partly it's a throwback to what the original car was. So where am I going?
Over here! Huh? Over! Come look!
What have we got?
See,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is where the thick brow squat and cut. Butchers. Infidels.
Give me those binoculars.
Yeah, look. There. Scabrous Scrotus.
Gavrus Grotus.
Yeah. He's a big boss man from the gas town, you see.
Chumbucket, the
Scrotus keeps
Blackfinger.
best parts for himself. Yeah, but he's not here now. You see, I don't see the Land Rover.
I'm getting my car back.
Get my car back.
Please. I have an idea. It's better for you and it's better for me. Just listen. Look, your black on black is toast. It's scrap. It's gone. She'll never be whole again. Huh? Now
Funny thing is, the Pursuit Special, chopping it up. The Pursuit Special was repainted come the second film. So in the first film, you could see it had a two-tone black color scheme. It had the gloss with with the matte sort of linings on the side and on the bonnet. But come the second film, they repainted it just more or less, just a dull, not so glossy black, but just they repainted it in one tone. So it lost that two-tone black on black scheme. So it's kind of odd to still call it black on black after that. Binoculars. Oh, might as well have a look. No, yeah.
Yeah, good cover. Perfect place to build a car.
Well, it's not like it's even bloody conspicuous, is it? It's bloody big enough. Oh, I'll build it. Binoculars.
Yes, I have much to show you. Oh, but we are at
Hup.
the bottom. It doesn't get any lower than this.
Bottom of a seabed. Okay. More random cars left here and right. Oh, what's that? Again, I think it's just generic, so I'm not gonna put too much detail on what the cars these are. Oh yeah. Hideout. Chumbucket. Ooh, got some engines going on. They really went for the car's idea of the car being like that ultimate thing, like it became its own religion. Come Fury Road. It never really, I don't know, I mean, like, the cars were important in the films. I mean, Mad Max is always about cars. But it wasn't pretty much till Fury Road where they made it like a religion of it, especially like the characters, the War Boys, you know, the Shiny and Chrome and all that. It was a good inclusion, I won't lie. It was quite interesting. I liked it a lot. Torture test.
With chum bucket overdrive, coils, springs, shocks, links too.
Gotta be 8 cylinders, mate. Bloody oath, mate. Get the V8 going, mate. Show me where it is. People have pointed out, and it is kind of a bit, you know, a bit interesting. Like, in a world where fuel is so scarce, everyone loves to be driving around a V8. And, you know what? In that terrain, you need the best you can get, so I'm not gonna... Nah, bugger it, I would too. I'd be after a V8. I mean, get all the advantage you can.
From a place sad and strange, where the chariots of
I
old
find
went to die.
V8s
A place I call
interesting in that... I remember my dad told me a story years ago. My dad...
where we must go in
The only V8 my dad ever owned in Australia was the P5 LTD. The 1974 P5 LTD. I love that car. I love just being in it. And I mean, it was just... For that was like Australia's big... Ooh,
We're low on fuel.
okay.
Unfortunately, with Gastown comes the blessings of gasoline.
Gasoline.
We should find enough fuel for us to make it to the graveyard.
Okay, we'll go get some gasoline then. Drive to the graveyard. Going back to what I was saying, my dad had a P5 LTD. It's a 74 LTD. And that's the only V8 we ever had in our family. He was pretty much a Ford man up to that point. Like, he's had a Holden, but he was never a big fan of it. And I just remember as a kid, like, it was like, the P5 LTD was the luxury. The first Ford luxury car sort of thing. So it was like rival the, you know, the American Lincoln or Cadillac, whatever you want to call it. It was pretty big. And I remember, from the story he told me, he made a bet with my godfather. My godfather had an XB, so they're both roughly about the same model car. I mean, model year and all that, like, certain differences, of course, because the LTD was a much longer body type. But he made a bet, because they were going on a long drive back to the home, from Sydney back to where we lived. And my dad bet him, like, in a full tank, he said, like, the V8 going up the mountain and going around the road would burn less fuel than his 6-cylinder, his straight 6 XB. And they made the bet, and from according to my dad, and basically it was, no, he won. Like, for us, you know, people always assume, like, you know, the XB, the V8s are just going to chew fuel. And those LTDs, they had the same, pretty much the same engine. Those XBs, like in Mad Max, all the Fords, the biggest engine you can get in Australia was that, around about that time, the 351 Cleveland, the 5.8 litre 351 Cleveland. And that was just a great little engine. It had some great torque to it. I mean, it's not a big block like you got in the States where you got your, you know, you got your 428s and so on, like in the 390s. But for Australia, that was a great engine. And going back to that, like, people would always often assume, like, the bigger the engine, the, you know, the more fuel would burn. And
Whoever was here is long gone now.
the XB...
Along with anything of use.
Anything, okay, it's all
All
gone.
around. Keep your eyes peeled.
The 6 cylinders, I'm just kind of trying to remember off the top of my head.
Big steel gift box.
They were good little engines too, but you can tell the difference of the power, especially like my brother had the same car, he had an XB with the 6.
He's out of gas.
Okay, out of gas. But, yeah. In case you want to know what I'm talking about when I refer to the P5 LTD, that's the 4-door version of the 2-door Landau, or Landau, depending how you want to pronounce it, that you see at the beginning of Mad Max 2 being chased by Max, which I'm gonna go out there. I think it's another Pursuit Special. So it's basically another Pursuit Special. They're former police officers, but yeah, that's the car you see. That's basically what my dad had. My dad had the same car, but he had the 4-door version. And like I'm gonna say, like those were one of the best cars, and it broke my dad's heart when he had to sell it. Long story. I'll probably get into it at another time. I wouldn't actually mind making a video about that car. It didn't feature in any movie, unfortunately. Oh, actually, no, sorry. It did feature in one Aussie movie. And that's the Chain Reaction. So, anyone out there, any Americans especially, I'm going to one day talk about that movie as well. It's got a bit of a connection to Mad Max. Because Mel Gibson has a cameo in it. You got the Goose himself. Stephen Beasley playing the main lead in this one. And George Miller actually came in, if I'm not mistaken. He did like a second unit. He did as a favour to the director. I can't remember who the director was off the top of my head. But that movie as well, like that's a great little Aussie car chase movie. That's kind of the, you know, Hugh Keith-Byrne also plays in it as well. But that's like the follow-up kind of film to Mad Max. That's kind of in response to Mad Max, like they want to make another car chase movie. Let's have a quick look around, see if there's anything I need to loot or anything like that, any scrap. And you get a good car chase scene there, be it on a dirt road, so you don't get the full potential of the LTD against the Holden Ute. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was a WB. It might have been an HQ. Damn it. Shh. It's funny how this goes around like that. There was a time when Australians just loved their... I mean, they still love... Don't get me wrong, they love their car chases, but there was a time when Australia was really getting involved in car chase movies. And the Chain Reaction is a good one. The other follow-up... The other...
Nobody around. Their gate unguarded. There's a lead, Saint. Huh? One blast should split it wide open.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Get the girl.
So let's make this one count.
And that's probably one of the best follow-ups to Mad Max. Would have to be in my 1982 Aussie car chase street racing movie called Running on Empty. So I've mentioned that one of my top 10s. I mentioned that in my forgotten car chase movies. I think I mentioned it, put it in the 2 spot. And it is. It's actually. Ow. It's definitely worth a look. I reckon that's... It's just so much fun to look at that. And that movie features... apparently, people say yes or no. It features an XY, 1971 Ford XY GTHO Phase 3, apparently. From what I've read from behind the scenes, some of the producers said, yes, they did obtain... well, an actual Phase 3. It's funny because in the movie they make fun of it, how like slow it is, how like, I know, there's that joke saying though, like one of the characters said, you know, Granny wouldn't be caught dead shopping in this. And those cars now, especially a genuine Phase 3 GTHO, XY GTHO, they go for massive amounts. Like they can go like well over $1 million in auction for a pristine one. And that one too, that's got the 351 Cleveland in it, and that was just one of the best like racing cars Ford Australia ever made. Wow. And this was at the height of the Ford versus Holden, you know, the Bathurst, Mount Panorama and all the racing at that era. And that was just when Ford and Holden were building cars to race. They were making to, you know. Where am I going? Am I going in circles or not? Alright. I was just about to apologise for my driving. I know I'm driving like crap. That's a 6er. Here we go. Okay, let's have a look here.
There! Our prize! Right for the taking! Go quickly!
Ah, yeah.
The only way to get up there is through those cave tunnels.
Alright then. Let's go get it.
Get the car in place down here. I'll lower the body onto it.
Oh. They know I'm here. Reach car body platform. First, have a look. I mean,
Something here.
there's something happening here. Running around like bloody rats. Oh, scrap. Alright, we'll at least know how much I need to pick up. 1 of 3. Yeah, so apparently scrap is like very important in this game.
Maybe I could zip down this.
I mean, obviously, like they wouldn't be having it around if it wasn't important in that aspect. Okay, let's have a look here. Hold zip line. Okay, so where are we going now?
Flashlight.
Where? Where?
Handy.
Small, handy, versatile. Where's it? Oh, there's a flashlight. Oh yeah, dead body mate. Now, how would batteries still be about after all these years in the wasteland? I mean, fair enough. I mean,
Still works too.
yeah, I'm surprised too, mate. The timeline in this franchise is a bit muddled. Like, and basically, like, from what the the channel, the Mad Max Bible. Now that dude's pretty good. Like, he did like a video discussing the timeline, and he really went into detail with it. And that was one of the best examples of knowing what's going on in Max. But like, it's supposed to be like part 3, or part 1's supposed to take place around about 1985. Part 2, I think, is like 3 to 5 years. I think it's 3 years after the events of Mad Max 1. Beyond Thunderdome is supposed to be 15 years after Mad Max 2. Now, Fury Road, there's a mistake in Fury Road. It wouldn't have been a mistake if Mel Gibson had played, where they tattooed on Tom Hardy's back. I'm trying to remember the day, like 1,000, I think it's 12,000 days, I can't remember off the top of my head. A number of thousands of days, like it's supposed to be like a timeline AD sort of thing, like whatever it is, like after the bomb was dropped, whatever it was. And that's about 33 years. So I think it's supposed to be like, because basically the timeline in Mad Max, people think it's post-apocalyptic. Part 2 wasn't really, it wasn't post-war, it was post-crisis, or about the time of crisis. It was Beyond Thunderdome that was somewhere between part 2 and part 3, Mad Max 2 and Beyond Thunderdome, where a post-apocalyptic situation happened where a big one was dropped. And that's kind of where the timeline, and it kind of puts it at 33 years, which doesn't make sense. Tom Hardy's age, he's supposed to be close to about 40, let's say. Mel Gibson would have been perfect for that. So it would have been more consistent. That time date, that date stamp, would have been more consistent with Mel Gibson's Max, had he come back, which he should have. Okay, so let's have a look here. So what cars we got on offer here? So that's not, I don't think it's a Corvette, this one here. From what I've looked up, I think it's a Australian kit car made to kind of look like a Corvette. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, so I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's a 70s like kit car made to kind of like look, I think it's a bit smaller, but it's supposed to look like a Corvette C3. Mustang. Can you have a let's have a show. Shovel face. Okay. Can I rotate? No. So what's that? I thought it was actually I thought it was a 69 one stage, but I think it's a 67 Mustang fastback. It's got no tail, it's got no solid reflectors, so it's not a 68. It's got no side reflectors there around about the back end, so it's must be 67. Okay, so basically, I'm pretty sure someone in production said, look, the whole story revolves around Max getting back his Pursuit Special, but I think a lot of fans would have been pretty, pissed off if they didn't get a chance to drive. Like, if you only got a chance to drive it at the end of the game, I imagine I would have been pissed off. So I guess they chucked this in as sort of like compensation for that. What do we got here? Again, we went to that. So it's only 3 bodies. Okay, no, 4 bodies. So what's this? Death Rattle. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't actually select this. I mean, I can't claim to be a Mad Max fan and not go for the closest thing to the XB. It is basically an XB. So it's basically the same thing, except for the quarter panel of the side mirror, side window rear, the rear side windows. That's more in tone with the Landau. So I'll select this. Yeah, I do want the Wild Hunt. Yeah, go for it, mate. I think maybe that's probably what they should have done. Instead of the XB, they should have actually opted to make this the Landau you see in Mad Max 2. It would have been a bit of a nice little like throwback, and also a compensation. A compromise, as opposed to, if you can't get the XB, at least get the next best thing. And I think the Landau probably would have been the good alternative. Whoa, shit. R1. Crap. R1? R1. Shit, I was playing F1. Left one. Come on. Give me that goddamn knife. Where is that knife? Shoot. Days. Crap. I'm not... I don't know. Going back into some fighting here. For fuck's sake, fucking fall down already. Yep. Yeah. That's right, bitch. That's right. Up. Fuck this. I'm out of here. Yep. What am I doing? Come on. Break the damn thing. Alright. Down I go. Drop. And what's drop? Ah. Alright, let's go for it. Kick her in the guts. Yeah, okay, now that's a bit more like it. Oh crap, what do we got? R1 to aim, weak spots, shotgun, R1, left one, sorry, not R1. Left one, circle aim, use square and L before. Okay, let's see what this is about. Oh, what the? Okay, that. Where am I going? Whoa. I'll ram in a sec. I just gotta figure out what I'm doing. Ah! Come on. When close, you... Gotcha! Mission complete. Well, I might as well just leave it at there. Yeah, I mean... No, it's got its interesting moments. Obviously, it's not bad at all.
Oh, praise be! We're alive and free of the graveyard.
Of course we're alive, mate. It's me and Max. I'm driving the bloody thing.
I can
Alright,
fix it now if you stop.
yeah, I'll
Or
stop.
later, at my sanctum. It's your choice.
Keep an
Let's
eye
have a
out.
look at it.
No surprises.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the signature aspects of those beautiful 70s Ford coupes is missing, or it's that thing at the back there with the window. So this is a bit more consistent with the Landau. But yeah, it's pretty much everything about it. It's an XB. Yeah, it's still an XB. I mean, even got the reflectors at the back, the side indicator reflectors, whatever you call it. They're vertical. They're not horizontal as they would be in the XC model. So, and you also got the, yeah, your classic bonnet ready to go. So I might just leave it at that. So, but this game here, no, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. So we'll have a look at it next time. So, cheers. Hope you enjoy that. See you later, guys.